You're listening to Tuned In with Raf and Nick Webb.
Welcome back to Tuned In. We're live from the Lab Studio here in North Strathfield, one of the best studios in Sydney. Can I say a quick shout out at the start of the episode to the boys from Visual Labs who let us use the studio for the podcast. It's amazing and they're really accommodating and I cannot give it greater praises. We're here today with none other than Tiffany.
Hi.
Fresh off a release, Feel My Love.
Yeah.
And it's a Greek artist based in Sydney, merging R&B, house and EDM.
Like every genre under the sun, to be honest. I've done everything at this point. But I feel like it's like part of being an artist, to be honest. I guess you guys would know.
Yeah. That was a fantastic introduction. Like, I'm actually a bit shocked. Oh, that was not going to be me. Like, I was actually going to let you introduce yourself, so I'm glad Nick did that.
That's good.
Like, I feel like you covered everything. Is there anything else you wanted to be introduced as, or you wanted the audience to know before we get started?
No, that's a good introduction. That's a good job.
Thanks.
All right,
Just a round of applause.
Yeah, we are doing a round of applause. Well done,
Yeah,
mate.
because some people say I just make jokes. I'm not offering much, so it's good.
Tiff, how you doing, man?
I'm
Good to have you on the
good.
pod.
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited.
What's been happening in Tiffland? I know that you were just on Cater, you just dropped a new track.
Yeah.
You're busy as, so what's...
Yeah, I've been like non-stop busy, to be honest. I've been in the studio like 24/7. If I'm not in the studio, I'm doing something in music, like whether it's making content, because I feel like a lot of people don't know that being an artist, you have to be an influencer and a business manager and everything with it. So it's been busy, but yeah, getting Cater today, that was exciting. It's just like crazy to like hear it on the radio or like to even catch it for once, because I get notifications that like it's on radio, but I never really like am there to hear it on the station.
I get you.
So the fact that I'm like, okay, it's actually at 6:20, I'm gonna jump on and like hear it. So it's really cool. But yeah, Feel My Love, that was on there, which is like my first like house song of this season, which has been like really exciting. I think everyone's been like asking me for house for so long. So
It's a bloody good song.
yeah, thank you.
I was a little bit late. I only listened to it last week, and I think it came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Like, you actually
Thank
killed it,
you.
and I saw there were a few streamers and stuff reacting to it. Like, it's a bloody good song.
Yeah, I love it. It's like, it's super fun. So I think that's the whole point why I started house in the first point, because like doing the different genres, it obviously takes like a different set of skills for each. And like with house, I feel like you don't have to think as much as like if you're doing like an R&B song, because with my R&B ones I'm like thinking so much into like the lyrics and the story, and even though like house is like there's still a story, it's like so much fun to me. Like I'm just in the studio like with my engineers and we're all just like having fun and like dancing and just like having a blast. So I feel like that one came quite naturally, but I was so excited to release that one. Like I listened to it myself, to be honest.
That's awesome.
It's gone. I remember when it came out, I was in the gym and I messaged you and
yes.
I've smacked this song 5 times during the gym session. Yeah, it was really, really good.
I love hearing that though, like when, I release a song, because we all know like it takes a lot of work like into like, one song and putting it out. It's like one of like your babies, and when you're seeing like all these people like, message you, oh, this is so good, or putting it on their stories, or when I see like TikToks being made or people like reacting to it or reacting to the artistry or whatever it is, it's just like those are like the best moments. Like I love them. But yeah.
That's awesome. There's I wanted to ask you, like, this is not the first time you've been on Cater.
Yeah.
So like, what's the process like jumping on there? Do you do it? How was the interview? Is it like, it wasn't live, I guess, because you were able to listen back to it?
Yeah.
Like, what happened surrounding that interview?
So the first time I was on Cater was for my release Pretty Game with one of my friends, Fortune, 444 guys. But I was hooked up by my manager because we did like a full press release for that one, and the first time that came out, I was like not expecting her to call me. She called me like so much earlier, and like I was like half asleep. I thought I'd have a nap. I was like really sick. She called me and I was like fumbling, like I was like so nervous, and like I was listening back to it. We were at the studio that night, so I was listening to it with Barry and Irfan, and we were hearing it, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so bad. I was like, I need a redemption. And then I think like 2 weeks ago, my manager, Usma, shout out, but she like messaged me. She goes, "Oh yeah, okay, Sarah wants to have you back on. Like I'm gonna set it up, and like we should do it for your new release. It's just come out." I'm like, "Yeah, sick. Like this gives me like so much like a time to like redeem myself."
You must have been that bad if she wanted you back.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna sound like a relationship if you say it like that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I was so happy like to be back on. I think like I'm grateful for the opportunity regardless. But yeah, she called me. I was actually ready this time, and I feel like I powered through those questions. It was a lot better. But like I almost completely forgot about the interview, to be honest. Like I did it, and I did the interview. It was all done, and then I had a shower because I was gonna get ready like to come here. And I just came out of the shower, I was like in a towel. My mum's like, "Oh yeah, I'm on she said Triple J. She's like, "I'm on Triple J, you haven't started yet, 6:20. I'm like, "Mum, it's cater." She goes, "Well, it's 6:23. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So I'm like running to like grab my phone, and I'm getting messages like from people, "Oh, this is hectic, like you're doing so well." And I'm like, "I can't even hear." So like I had to like jump on, and I got most of it, but it's really cool to hear it back. And I think my parents as well, like my dad especially, like loves to hear it. He's listening like, "Oh, I'm like, it's so cool, my daughter."
That's awesome. That's actually awesome. You're so consistent with your music. Like the fact that you've been on Cater twice, this year?
In the last month and a half, maybe.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that means you've been smashing out songs, and you have been, because I know you dropped one 2 weeks ago, then you dropped another one last month.
Yeah.
And so how many songs have you dropped this year?
I've dropped a lot. Like so I think I started the year off with Again, then Blush, Crazy. Wait, so that's 3. So Crazy, I did Attention. What else did I do? Pretty
Agape.
Game. Agape was last year, but I did Pretty Game. It's okay.
Was the
I
remix?
did Feel My Love.
How long after Agape was the remix?
Yeah, because I saw Too Risky.
Yes,
That's
correct.
Why. And
that
was the
was
remix
still,
this year?
No,
Or
it was
last
still
year as
like
well?
last year.
Okay.
So
I saw. That's
I feel like I've always been like putting music out, like not that consistent, to be honest. Is it 2 years ago? I was like almost gonna quit. I'm like, I can't be bothered like with this. Like I was making the music like from my bedroom, like mixing, mastering in like my laptop or whatever. And then my friend Al's, he was like to me, he's like, "Oh, I just did a session at Beats with Chef, and these people, they're like really cool. Like I think you should go." And I was like, "No, like I'm like ready to give up. Like I'm finished. Like I'm done." And he's like, no, one session. So I went in, and like it was the best session ever. I was so nervous just because like I feel like the music industry as well, being a female, like going into like a studio with a bunch of like dudes, like I don't know, it's like intimidating, scary, knowing these people have worked with like some of the biggest artists in Australia. And I was really nervous, but as soon as I walked in there, I honestly felt like it was like a home. Like it was just like so welcoming, loved the people there. And I did the first session, and just hearing the song after, I was like, this is crazy. So I spent like, I think the first like 6 months last year kind of just like banking up on songs, and I had like the idea of like wanting to implement my culture, and that was the first song, Akapi. And when I did that, I feel like it popped off with like the car community a bit, and they like NRG, like the genre. So I was like, okay, I gotta make NRG. So I did that. And then I was like, you know what if I turn Akapi into NRG? And I was in talks with Too Risky before that to do, I think they want to do like a hardstyle track or something. And I was like, you know what, let's like do a remix of Akapi, let's make it NRG, like let's do this. And they're like, okay, sweet. So I dropped that, and people were loving that, which was sick. But I think in the last year, over 20 songs I've dropped, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
and you know, I have...
In 1 year?
Yeah, I think in the last, since mid last year, just over, maybe 20 songs. And I have songs, because like I had to, with my manager, because my stuff is being released with a label at the moment. And we had to kind of just like do a release plan of what my next year's looking like. And with the songs that are already ready and recorded, I have a song coming out every 5 weeks till next August. August, September.
God.
Yeah, so I already know what's releasing next August, but I'm not going to say. But so it's like a lot of hard work, and obviously a lot of money and investments, but you know, a lot of sacrifices, like seeing everyone going to Europe and like summer. I've never been to Europe, never been to Greece. Like I'm sitting here like working my ass off, but you know, I've got a release coming out like every 5 weeks now, so it's a plan. Hopefully, you know, I see more growth through that.
Oh man, well done. Honestly, that is so impressive.
Yeah. Thanks.
That makes me feel like
Yeah, that's
like I
it
think
holds
You
up
just
a
dropped
mirror.
a whole
Yeah.
EP. I haven't done a full body of work like that.
no,
I want to
but
though.
I'm sorry, 20 songs in maybe just over 12 months.
That's basically
Yeah.
an album.
Bro, that's
yeah.
more than
Yeah.
an EP. Like that's ridiculous.
You know, I've been like tossing and turning between EP. I think I overthink a lot, and I'm very much like a perfectionist, especially my music. Like, I've done so many songs, like even in sessions, like and paid lots of money. I'm like, nah, this is not happening. Like, it's
And
not
you've just
going
sacked
out.
them.
Yeah, sacked it. I'm like, it's not going out. Like, I don't want it. And for an EP for me, like right now, I feel like the audience are like, they're down to be like, okay, she's released a single, I'm gonna go listen to that single. But if I were to put out like a full body of work, like 5-6 songs, and you know, we all know how much time and effort it goes into each song. So I'm like, how many of that audience are gonna go and listen to like full 5-6 songs? Because even now, like my favorite artist will drop a song, and like the first thing I do, I'll quickly go through, like listen to the first 5 seconds and be like, okay, is this good or not? But you know, for like a smaller artist, I'm like, are they really gonna listen? Like, is it worth it? I get scared, like I've like pushed it off, but it will definitely come. I mean, I have singles up to August next year, so I'm hoping to like end off next year with a EP, like the first EP is a self-titled or whatever. You know, but yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, that's the plan.
Oh, God willing, that's
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because I think me and Nick look at ourselves and we're like, oh, we're pretty all right. Like we put in the hours and stuff.
Yeah.
And now I feel like we fucking suck, bro.
I know.
Nah, but not even
But
that.
it's-
Like, I would not even say like I'm like, you know, with the consistency. Yeah, I'm putting out music, but I feel like if I'm being like 100% honest, I could put in a lot more time into content. Like I do put like out content, I do put out videos, but I feel like with each song, the amount of songs I'm putting out, I should be pushing it a lot more. So that's like one of like my goals, or like one of the things that I need to push myself more, is to like keep doing content and to keep, you know, changing ways of different like content ideas and doing whatever is like is fitting in, or what's not working, what's working. So I feel like that's where I need to be more consistent and stuff. You've been posting so much content, all the content's like, I look at the like quality, I'm like, sheesh, like it's so good.
Yeah, I've been trying. I'm lucky. I have my background in like videography and that sort of thing, so it sort of lends itself to it. But yeah, it's like you said, it's so.
Yeah.
You're an influencer, a music artist, a manager. Like for myself, I'm doing the mixing and mastering side as well.
That's crazy.
So it's like you said, it's 100 jobs. And Raf, same boat. So yeah, like sometimes it's like, okay, it can't be too hard, but then sometimes you're like.
But then sometimes you meet Tiff and you're like,
You're like, you have to.
You know, I feel like not many people know that if you're not an artist, they would just think, okay, they're making music and putting it out. But these days, it's not that easy, and especially for independent artists, you know, there's a lot that goes into it behind it, not even just making the song, but, you know, okay, I need an album cover, right? Now I need to go shoot or like make one or find out how to do one. And then there's, you know, putting it through the distro, and then everything behind that. Like, how am I going to push this single? How am I going to, you know, market it? How am I going to like make content? Now I need to make the content. Now when do I post it? Like, it's, you know, there's a whole lot of things that go in behind it. That's why I feel like not a lot of people know unless like they've, you know, been in the industry, I guess.
yeah, for sure.
Now you mentioned everything's being released through a label. Are you allowed to speak a bit on that, on how that process works, or?
Yeah, so right now, I've been working like really close with Beats with Chef. So
Shout out, Chef.
Yeah,
shout out Barry and Chef.
Yeah, I love them.
I got to meet them for the first time in real life.
Really?
Like at On the Block, Take Two. They were there to support Xenos, so
Oh yes, I
I
saw
got to meet them for the
Lafayette,
first
right?
time. So it was good,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? Because one time I said it and then Barry's like, no, that's not how you say it. And I'm like, oh, whoops, sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's only recently, so obviously they have their own label. So I'm not signed to a label, but I guess some of the songs are going through that, you know, the Chef division. So you'll see on the bottom of the song. So I mean, I guess it's public if it's on the bottom of the song.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that started with Pretty Game, and you know, at the start I was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. Because for myself, I know a lot of artists want to be signed. I don't want to be signed. Not that like it was. I'm not saying it's been offered by them, but you know, I think having the opportunity to have it signed by them just for song is good, because obviously, you know, if it's being put through a distributor that's not like, you know, the generic of DistroKid and stuff, sometimes there might be better connections, which has been good because, you know, with Feel My Love and Pretty Game, we're able to get on Apple Music playlists. Haven't got on a Spotify playlist yet, but fingers crossed. But can we swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
you
know
want.
okay, just making sure. But yeah, so I think we've 6 or 7 Apple Music playlists we've landed on with Pretty Game and Feel My Love, which has been cool because I feel like that's kind of opened it to like the more international waters, which has been cool. So just having that connection and those things from like just going through them. I don't know like how many songs will go through them, but like we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I have a song dropping with them in like, I don't know the date, 6th of December. So I'm excited.
Are you able to give us a teaser into like the genre, the style?
It's house, so
Another
house. Yeah, so this one's not Afro house. It's gone just like straight, like, you know, the normal house, deep house. It's called Addicted, and it's really fun. Like I love it. Like, you know, when I'm making genres, I've always like loved house, and I feel like I started to build my audience when I did house, but I started as an R&B artist, so I love R&B, and you know I love dipping into different genres. So you'll see next year I have like pop, and like I have a bunch of things. Yeah, I have like I've merged different like genres into one. Like last year I dropped a song called Can't Get Enough, and it's got Afro house Afro beat elements from the drums, but the lyrics are written in the style of like an R&B genre, and then like it's just like a bunch of different things. Like I'm a piano, like it's all different, but you know I think that's what like allows me to be like creative and like express
100%.
myself. Just to create something new, because with music I don't want to create something that's like already been done. Like I want to like keep being innovative and give people something different. But yeah, that song's called Addicted. It's a house song. It's very like upbeat, it's very fun. And then I think in Jan we have another Afro house, and then we're going to go into, I have like a pop R&B one that's coming. That one's sick. It's like my favorite track ever. I can't wait to release that one.
And surely you're giving us a teaser when we turn the cameras off.
Yeah, sure.
Have you got it in a folder?
Pardon?
Got
yeah.
all of them?
Yeah, all of them till next August. I have like, it's all finished, done, mixed.
That's mad.
so
But
impressive.
I mean, I did pass the mic the other day for Parramatta Lanes, and I did that song because
Saw that.
it was crazy. Like I recorded that song. It's called On the Line, OTL for short. But I recorded it, I think it was like on a Wednesday night, and I posted it on my story, and then on maybe like Thursday, the next day, the guy from Bodega Collective, like his name's Chris, hopefully Chris, he messaged me, he's like, oh Tiff, like you wanna come down to, you know, pass the mic and do OTL? And I'm like, this is crazy, like this is like, what's just happened? Like
That's
I have
mad.
like 2 days notice. And I'm like, yeah, and he goes, oh yeah, Irfan said that he was in the session with you last night and it was dope, so I'm thinking of getting you on. I'm like, that's crazy, like you go to the studio one day to record a song, the next day you're like asking to perform it. So, you know, I got asked to go there and I did that one song and I loved it. Like I was still, you know, when you finish recording a song and you're in that hype, like, oh, this is the best thing ever, it's gonna break me, like I'm gonna be a big artist from this. So I was still in that like phase, and when I recorded it, I was like so in love and obsessed with the song. And I was like quite scared to perform it as well, because like we had just written it and recorded it like 2 days before. And I'm like, that plus nerves, like on a stage, like am I going to forget these lyrics? Like I was so scared. And when I jumped on, there was this boy, he was in the front, and he was like autistic, he was like the cutest little like thing ever, but he was like screaming, like, he's like, yeah, go. And I'm just like, it was distracting me, and I'm like, you're so cute, but like, I'm just like, I'm trying to really focus on these lyrics, like, I'm just like, I really want to interact, but like, this is a song that like, I literally just recorded, like, I'm trying to like, you know, do this, and you know, I got off stage, and I think
And you
you're
slapped
fun.
the shit out of him.
No,
You were
he was a
distracted.
little muffin. He actually won $500. He was so cute because they were giving out $500 to anyone in the audience, and he won it, which was cute.
That is so cute.
Yeah.
Good on you.
But that's so funny. But no, I didn't touch him. I just walked past. No, it was really fun because I had some friends come there too, and Irfan, one of my closest friends as well, he performed straight after me as well. and it was cool to see him perform and like be able to support too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How is it? You've spoken a little bit about it already, but before when you were doing everything independently, where were you getting your production and your beats and stuff from? Were they YouTube? Were you doing it yourself?
Yeah.
What was the go?
I mean, still even now I'm independent, but like, I mean, obviously then I didn't like meet Beats with Chef,
Yeah.
but honestly I was getting YouTube beats,
Yeah.
I won't even lie, like I think everyone went through that phase, like buying them. Honestly, I'm even tempted sometimes now, like that's some really cool
they're
beats on
great
I'm
there.
still in that.
Yeah,
phase,
like
yeah.
I see there's some really,
Like it's not fake, like it's gone.
Yeah, no,
it's
gone.
so cool. I've seen some really cool like deep house, like is it like Maker? Is that what his name is? You know the Move song? You got me in the mood. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
like
fucking love
it's
that
like
song.
that type beat. But there's a bunch of like really cool stuff on there, and I really want to like buy it. I think the only thing that like makes me overthink it is like, okay, what if someone else makes a song with it? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Would Chef and Barry get upset if
No.
you went and bought a beat, or like it's not an exclusive?
No, like I feel like with them, it's not like business. Like it's more of just like a really close
Yeah.
friendship. Like I feel like they're my big brothers, and even for them, you know, they're just like, you know what, I don't care if you don't come here, that's fine. We just want to see you make music. They go,
Yeah.
even if that's not
That's
with
awesome.
us, like he goes, it's like we don't care. We care about your journey and like your growth as an artist. So if you're still putting out music, like that's just what we want to see. And yeah, they're not like that at all. Like love them. But yeah, before them, I was getting like YouTube beats, or there was this site, I don't know if you've ever used it, it's called Sound Better. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
No, but pretty much you go on it and you'll put down like your idea of what you want, and people like will pitch you
No way.
and like give you quotes, and like it's all like it's everywhere. And there's like producers, mixers, masters,
Seriously?
like yeah, there's songwriters even on there, and you pretty much just say exactly the job that you want, and I would put it on there and you know get beats.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did that as well, like, you know, when I wanted to start doing, like, getting, like, my own custom beats. But, yeah, I would just, like, if it was just a YouTube beat, I would get the YouTube beat, I would just write it at home. You know, I would record on, I had a cracked version of Logic, like, I'm not even joking, it was full cracked, like, it was like, I did not pay for it. Like, me and my friend, I was like in year 11.
Please, so we can get in trouble.
We just was like, illegal download, but like it was so expensive. And now I bought it, but like back then, like, you know, I couldn't afford that. I mean, still can't afford it now, but like, you know, yeah, so I would record it on there, and I try my best to like mix and master it, and I would put it out. Otherwise, I would try and hire someone off that app to mix it. Yeah, and then I just put it out. When I first started going Beats with Chef, I was still using beats from like that site of like getting people as well. I was just going to them to track it and mix and master. And then when they tell me the price of their beats, I'm like, it's literally the same price, but the only difference is like with the website, I'm not there to see the production. So like I'm just see the end result, so I don't really have a voice. Whereas with Beats with Chef, you have the option to sit in session. So I feel like that's better. You can be more custom because they can do something in session. You'll be like, oh, okay, I'm thinking of going this way. Or they could ask you and be like, okay, which snare do you want? And they'll go through like 100 snares. It's lengthy, and sometimes you're like, oh, like, get me out of here. But like, I feel like at the end of the day, you get like a beat that's like really like catered to you and like exactly like what's in your vision. But Chef and Barry, oh my God, they're like the go. Like I don't think I've ever gotten a bad beat from them. Like they
That's so awesome.
are masters in what they do. Like every time someone asks me, where's your music from? I'm like, Beats with Chef. They're like, anyone else? I'm like, no. like if I've already found the best, like I don't know which, like I'm not gonna go anywhere.
100%.
Yeah.
Jeez, we could get sponsored or something.
I know, far out.
Yeah, I swear, I see them wearing merch all the time on their stories, but they don't sell it. And I'm just like, okay, I'll give you some cash, just make me some, and I'll wear it. Like, honestly, I like...
Chef Division on the back.
Yeah, like, I
Should
swear
do
I sponsor-
jerseys. Chef and Barry, if you're listening
that'd
to
be
this,
so
you've got to do
cool.
like Chef Division jerseys, and all
Yeah.
the artists that like are consistent, like Tiff,
Yeah.
Nick Marcus, etc., Irfan, like give them numbers.
Oh my God.
Give them
Well,
like
no,
you
all of
guys
us
get
need
to
have
pick numbers, and you
fours.
get like your own number
Yeah.
in your jersey.
That'd be so cool.
That actually would be
I would
sick.
love that.
I
Or
should
you'll have
charge you for
fours.
that idea. That's so fucking good. That's a good idea. Come on, that's
Yeah,
gun merch.
I think I'm a bit confused right now. What do you mean Chef Division? What's Division?
That's their label.
Oh, is
yeah.
that the name of the label, that Chef? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a fucking good idea.
And then people who like want to rep.
I started
Tiff.
thinking of chef hats. That's the first thing I thought.
Like Michelin stars
I
and
mean,
shit.
he had a full series before saying Eats with Chef. I think
Yeah,
it's still
that's
on their
mad.
page, and like he would just cook, and like people don't know this, but chef is like an actual chef, and like I haven't had so much of his
We gotta
food,
look up. We gotta
Literally.
look up
Look up
Jim.
Chef and Rahana.
Yeah, 100%.
but even Chef's wife, she's like, I'd see all her TikToks, just garden in the kitchen, like I just want to go over and make me food.
Back then.
Yeah.
He's a chef in the studio. And in the
Chef at
kitchen.
home
He's
too.
cooking constantly. Cooking with chef.
Yeah, that's cool. Cooking with chef.
That's actually ridiculous. I think that we're going to need commission now from that Jersey idea for sure.
Trademark it.
And I want to know more about the studio session and like how much it's grown and how you've been more and more
Yeah.
involved. How they decided to bring you on as an artist, like
Yeah.
because you're obviously extremely talented.
Thanks.
To be able to be that consistent is ridiculous. They obviously would have seen that in
Yeah.
you and invited you. But what was it like? When did you start picking it up more consistently with them? When did you start getting super involved with Chef and Barry and everyone?
I would say this year. I mean, I've been going to them for just over 2 years now. Maybe when we first started making a copy, we made it last year, May, and I knew when I made that, I wanted to have a bunch of songs like ready and done. So I was working extra shifts. Like I was doing like 120 hours a week at work. Like it was fried. And, you know, I know that's crazy. And, you know,
Are you serious? Like when you say 120 hours, like you did
yeah, I was working day to night. So I would work in the morning. My mum would be parked in the car park. I would go like take an hour nap and I'd go straight back to work. I was working my ass off. And
What area of work was it? You don't have to say the exact job, but like what
if I
type of
say
work?
it, it would like it's
Like
just gonna leak the
retail
thing.
or like management?
Yeah, a bit of mix, management, retail, like bit of all that, like admin and stuff. So I was just like I was working so much, and you know, after that, like I really wanted to like get this music done. So all my money was just going to this, getting paid, to Chef. And you know, so I banked on a few songs. I banked on Akapi, and then I did Don't Let Me Go, which was NRG, and then I got the remix made as well. And then I had a breather of like, from May to August, you know, I was really planning it. So I made like a bunch of songs. I got the music video done for Akapi, which was like obviously another expensive thing, like you would know. So
Yeah.
the music videos are fried. But, you know, got all that together and then started putting it out. Consistently with like Chef, I've been going since like the start of this year. I'm pretty much there like every couple of weeks, like every 2 weeks it's like I'm there. It's really good there. Like I feel I've definitely grown like as an artist, like not like speaking in, obviously numbers have like grown a little bit, but I feel like the most important thing, like myself as an artist, I've grown so much and I've like picked up so much more skills from them. Going there, I feel like when I went in there, I was just in my house era. Like I didn't have any, you know, thought, okay, I'm gonna go and do pop and all this stuff. Like I was doing that at home, but I wasn't really like releasing it. And at the time, I had gone through like a really bad breakup, and Chef made me a beat. And when I went into like freestyle and melody, I was like gone to like the things that I normally go to, like love and all that stuff. And Chef's like, what are you doing, Tiff? He goes, I know what you've been through. He goes, you're gonna go home and you're gonna write like a bad V anthem, like. And he would just say things to like really poke me. Like he'd be like, imagine this person just said this to you, now sing. And like that's
mad.
yeah, I think that's the best thing as well about like being super close with them. Like I tell them everything. Like honestly, they could have me cancelled at this point. But like they know like my whole life back to front. Like I'm like, let's just say I meet a guy on the weekend. Like Barry knows before I've even said hi to the person. Like, they know everything, and I feel like that's the best thing about having sessions. Because when they know, they're able to kind of guide you with the music, so it's more personal. So every song that I put out is a true story, like it's all happened to me. And that song where he told me to have the bad B moment is when I made Crazy. And it was my first dark R&B song. And when I put it out, you know, I wasn't scared, but I was just like, my audience is like not used to this. They're used to all the house stuff. They're asking me for house stuff, so I feel really weird. But I feel like it was like I needed to do it for myself. Like I needed to put it out, and I put it out, and because a lot of my audience is young girls, I feel like it was a good message for them because Crazy is pretty much, it's about someone who's gone through a breakup, but it's not about like the sad side or being emotional. It's kind of just like a confident anthem of being like, you know what, you're the one who lost, like I'm good, like you can go cry, like I don't care. Like that's actually a line as well, like you can go cry or something. But like I love that one. But yeah, when I put that out, a lot of girls were messaging me and being like, oh, like I love this has made me feel some sort of confidence, or it's made me like just reading those messages, I'm just like, you're the cutest thing ever. And I would go into session and show them like these messages. They're like, okay, we need another one. So we made Attention, which was similar. It was like a dark R&B, but you know, kind of just a diss track at that point. I'm not even joking. And it's just so funny. Like I would just be full out there. Like when Crazy and like Attention, when I was making it, like my ex at the time was making like crazy rumors about me, like circulating them to like everywhere. And then Crazy dropped, which was just like funny because everyone got to hear the truth. And then it got played on like nationwide radio, and I'm like, not everyone.
Yeah, I gotta say, he did not play his cards very smart at all.
Exactly.
Like if you're gonna rip anyone, don't let it be an artist who's releasing 20 songs a year. Yeah. Who's gonna, you know.
I feel like he didn't see that coming, to be honest. And when it came, I saw all the friends stalking me and sharing my stuff. I was like, that's an extra view for me. Like, love that. Yeah, I mean, at the start, I think I was scared. I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to hurt them or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I don't give up. Like, I don't care. Like, at this point, like, I'm just putting it out. And it was the best. Like, I loved it.
It boosts the engagement, so it's all right.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It did, that's what I mean. It brought in like extra views because they're all like watching to be like, oh, what did she say? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. I said it. Like, what are we going to do about it?
Shout out to him. We'll tag you below. We wouldn't be here today without you, but...
No, legit. Like,
thanks for
honestly,
giving us good songs.
Yeah, I did a podcast with on Rue's Room. He's like the culture black kid from Triple J. Yeah, so I did it with him, and he was even like to me, like, what's something that really shifted you as an artist? And I said my breakup because, you know, that really pushed me to go into that different genre. And I hadn't really written in that style of, not diss, but I was really like, I guess, witty with my words, and it showed off confidence instead of heartbreak. And I hadn't written in that style or like put out music that way, so it really pushed me like into a zone where I wasn't that comfortable. But coming out of that, like I've like gained skills from that, and that's all from, you know, Beats with Chef. Going back to them, yeah, they've really made me be like as creative as possible. Like we'll be in a session, and you know, they'll be like, even with the Afro House, because we made Feel My Love like months ago, and Barry's like, look, I really feel like Afro House is coming, and you know, you being in your house element, I think you need to do Afro House. And I was like iffy about it. Like I haven't really heard Afro House much, and it wasn't really, you know, on the charts, and I was just like, I don't know if this is the right move. And he's like, Tiff, trust me, like I'm seeing, you know, the long drum and stuff, and Tyler's pulling off, and she's Amapiano, like I think just do Afro House. And we made Afro House, we were creative, you know, I put myself in that zone, and now when I put it out, we have all these massive Afro House songs coming out, like I Adore You and all that stuff, and I'm like, yes, Barry.
Yeah, Barry, you actually killed it. Well done, bro.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yes, that's all from them. So I feel like just this year of being with them, I've like gained skills on writing. Like I feel like my writing, obviously I wouldn't say it's perfect, but you know, I've gained a lot of skills onto that and strengthened it a lot more, and I guess learned how to do different genres. And I feel like that's the best part about being an artist, is like being able to push yourself into like the different things of music, which is cool.
Do you ever feel it can be somewhat restrictive being multi-genred, in the sense that you're trying to market a certain type of audience, and then you're moving from say house to R&B, and then you're like, how do I manage this? Obviously, then it leans more towards, say, an older demographic or a more male or female demographic, a party vibe versus someone who enjoys listening to music in their room. How do you navigate, say, even the content, the marketing for genre-specific releases where they're completely different?
It's definitely hard. I think for myself, I always just didn't want to be known as, okay, she's just a house artist or she's just an R&B artist. So when I'm writing, I feel like there is like, even though it's like completely different genres, there are a little bit of the connections, like whether, you know, Crazy, for example, it's dark R&B, I'm talking about a breakup in a confident way. I'm still talking, like in Feel My Love, it's about love. Like it's still on like the same kind of themes. I feel like for myself, I really looked at my analytics, so I know that like from 18 to, or not even 18, but you know, from young girls, I think it's like 16 to 30 or something, it's like my strongest market. And you know, just interacting with a lot of like, I call them my angels, but I'm interacting with a lot of my angels. Over time, I've just really realized a lot of them are girls. So every time that I write a song, obviously, because, like if I'm talking about my own experiences, they can relate to it as well. So when I put out Pretty Game, for example, you know, I was marketing it to them. I'm like, oh, imagine like, you know, point of view, like this guy just played you. And when we did Pretty Game, we kind of tried to like fool people that me and Fortune were together, like it's a whole thing. And it was funny because when we did that, like all of his like roster were like telling him off, like, who's this girl? Like, why are you guys together? And I'm just like, oh Lord, like it's so funny. I was in Newtown at a bar the other day and some guy came up to me, he's like, oh, you're Tiffany. And I'm like, yeah, and he goes, you're that girl from TikTok who's being played by that guy with tats. And I'm like,
No way.
and I'm like, really? Finally, we fooled them. But
That's a success.
yeah. So when I put out music, I kind of, even if it's like point of views, I will put things that people can relate to. So with Pretty Game, again, I was like, okay, this guy's been playing me, like, and I've just made this song about him. You know what? I'm gonna play him back, like, again, whatever, who cares? And then Feel My Love, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is a relatable experience. This is about like when you first start falling for someone and you don't know, you know, whether you should go for it or like protect your heart or whether, you know, like all that. So I would put that in the captions or I would speak about it and try really connect like the story of the song to the audience and make them feel, I guess, what like I'm trying to get across, which I feel like most of the stories in all the songs my audience can get, because I mean myself being a girl, like if my audience is all girls, they would probably go through like, you know, similar experiences.
100%.
Yeah.
I think the you were saying before, like there are similarities between songs, even though you're jumping genres and stuff. But I think the biggest joining factor is that it's you at the center, and that people that relate to you to some extent probably like the same music that you do. So if you're putting out something that you love, regardless of whether it's house or R&B, they'll be able to not only relate to your experience, but to your sonic as well. Because you've got a great voice and a very unique voice. Like when I hear you, I go, oh, this is a Tiff song.
Love that.
I never have to check like.
Yeah, love that.
Love that. Sorry.
I never have to check, you know, I'm not like, who's this artist? Never heard him before.
Yeah.
It's like I always know. Like even if I haven't heard one of the songs in ages and I've forgotten, I'm like, who's this artist? I'm like, that's Tiff's voice. Like you know straight away. So you're definitely doing a good job.
Thanks. Yeah, it's definitely challenging at times. Like I feel like the most challenging song to market, I mean, Pretty Game, because I mean all my songs have been about love, like I guess heartbreak or confidence, but Pretty Game was the first time diving into something where I'm not only receiving like a toxic experience, I'm also being toxic. And I haven't really done that. Like, you know.
You're outing yourself.
Pardon?
You're outing yourself.
I'm out of myself because like I'm normally writing things about my experience, and disclaimer, I've never played games with anyone, like, okay, I've never.
But
so no, I actually haven't. But yeah, there's obviously a buts. But but like I think how that song came apart is because I was seeing Fortune. I'm working closely with Beats with Chef, and I really loved his artistry. I'm like, I have to do a song with you. And when I made the song Attention, it was like a dark R&B. He was like, I need to jump on something like that. And we made the beat, and I felt like it just felt right. Like if it's a girl and a guy on a track, like you both, it's a toxic relationship. So when I put that, like when we made that song, I guess that was like the hardest part to market, and I had to try like my hardest for that one, because people have always been, you know, used to, not like innocent, but like, you know, either about love or, you know, she's broken up, but she's confident. Like it's all been like pure. Like it hasn't been like, okay, she's playing games and she's being toxic and, you know, all that stuff. So that was very left field for my audience, which is what I was scared. So that's why I filmed a bunch of content with 4 And we tried to come up with the idea of like tricking people with together or whatever, and it did work for some, but some it didn't. I know, like I posted, this is the funniest moment, I posted a video with my friend Al's, and I had him rapping, and I was like, oh my god, I just went on a Tinder date with this guy and he sent me his rap, it's so shit, like this is so funny. And just like me and my friend like laughing to his rap, and everyone in the comments was like, run, like don't go with a rapper, like this is a red flag. And then Fortune messages me and he's like, I just got told off. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, one of the girls that I'm talking to just like told me off because she saw your video on TikTok. And it's like, oh, who's Tiffany? And you're dating her, you went on a date with her, you have Tinder. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I need to market this. Like, that's what's important here. So I don't think he knew exactly like what content I was going to put out, what I was going to say about him. Like, I think, you know, I just posted it and let him see it.
You just threw him under the bus?
Yeah, I just put it out there. I was just like, oh, this, like, you know,
Yeah.
throw on the bus.
Webby, you sometimes say, oh, no, say it. Whatever you're going to say it.
No, I'm just worried sometimes when when people just turn to me and go, you sometimes, I'm like, fuck, what have I done? What do I do? What do I do?
That's guilty. That's like
Yeah.
if someone's like, if I was like to, what was I saying? To someone I said, oh yeah, I have a question, and they got scared. And I'm like, why
what
are you
hiding,
scared?
mate?
What are
I'm
you
not hiding
You should-
anything.
if-
I just do dumb things, and then I don't remember what I do, and then someone will like bring it up. But
I was going to say, like, the other day you were talking a little bit about, like, how sometimes you'll put out a song that's not, or you'll write a song that you really love, but you feel like there's a little bit of an imposter syndrome there. Maybe it's not as true to your sound or not as true to you as you usually feel. Do you ever feel,
Imposter syndrome?
like, especially with that song, because you're
it
like,
was with rap. I remember what you were saying.
Yeah.
It was with hip hop. Even though statistically it did quite well when I rapped, it wasn't even imposterish because it wasn't as if I was talking about something necessarily that wasn't true to me. The lyrical content was still true to me. It just, I think you'd understand, like some genres just fit better. Like you're just like, I'm more like calibrated for a specific genre than others.
Yeah.
Even though you could be good at it, you sort of have to make that decision in your head.
Yeah.
with this song, it sounds like you were putting on like more of a character. So
Yeah.
did you feel like you had a little bit of an imposter syndrome there, or did you just love it? Like you just enjoyed being someone else?
I think I was scared to, because obviously I feel like a lot of people know that like most of my songs I try to be genuine, and I was like, are people gonna think I like play games and I'm toxic? Like I really don't, because obviously even for the content I had to put on a character, and I was like, oh, people are gonna think like this is like true to who I am, or is that gonna affect my branding? So I think that was scary, but even like the imposter syndrome of like the different genres, I feel like for myself, like you don't know what's going to work. Like you might be in the studio, you might be listening to something and you might love it, but you don't know like what outside is gonna love. And you know, you might love something, someone else might hate it. You might hate something, they might love it. Like that's just how it is. But I feel like you really got to take that leap and just release it and just get it out there, because obviously we all have like different ears. Everyone's going to pick it up differently. And I guess that was the scary part of when I was jumping from house straight into dark R&B. Like I was like, oh, this is like a big like difference, because I've just grown this audience of like house and deep house, and I was like, is like they're gonna like this? And I'm like, you know what, at the end of the day, like this is my artistry and this is how I'm expressing myself, and I'm just gonna put it out there. And if this song doesn't work, all right, I'll go back to house, or you know, I might try something new, or I might put something else out. But I put out Crazy and it worked, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just keep like house seasonal. That way I get to still be creative, but you know, give the audience like both. But halfway through dark R&B, everyone's like, when's house coming? When's house coming? And I'm like, it's coming. Just another dark R&B, pretty game out now.
Next August it's coming.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I have no idea. Like, I think I was on live one time and someone asked, and I was like, I have no idea. Barry in the back room was like, you do have an idea, Tiffany? And I'm like, like, just throw me under the bus there. But yeah, I think it's, a lot of artists have imposter syndrome, and some of the times it makes people not release at all. But I feel like it's better for it to be out there, because you don't know what's going to be the song that, like, you know, lifts you up. And that's something that, you know, Chef and stuff always put into me, because there's always times that, like, I want to quit. Like, I'm always get into that mentality, even though people are seeing me work 24/7, put out music. Like, I'm always get into that headspace. Like, I can't do this. Like, I'm working so much, investing into it so much. Like, is this really worth it? Like, do I keep going? Yeah, because it gets hard. Like, you're saying you work 120-hour weeks. Yeah.
And stuff, like.
You know, you work tirelessly, and, you know, you see everyone, like, traveling, and I'm here making these sacrifices for music. And sometimes when you don't see the results that you expected, it can, like, knock you down. But, you know, when I'm speaking to Chef, like, there's been artists, like Aussie artists in the past, like, that were going to throw in the towel and, like, be like, this is it. And then the next song they, like, put out, they're being booked for shows everywhere. So it's just like, you know, I really believe in it. And I think having a team, or having, like, you know, a bunch of people behind you who have that, like, same belief or even more in you is definitely important, because obviously I said I wanted to quit so many times, but, you know, my team, so like Barry and Chef, they're always pushing me, like, Tiff, you need to keep going. Or even like my parents, like, you need to keep going. Like, you've gone this far, like, you're just going to give it up now. Like, you need to, like, keep putting out. So it's definitely important to have, like, those types of people around you. But it's draining for sure.
Do you have a like a personal sort of routine, or something that helps you break out of negative thought loops? Do you have something that you do? I understand that you're like, obviously your support network helps, but sometimes obviously you're not around everyone.
You go do a spa day.
Yeah, because you're not around everyone.
I honestly have a shopping addiction. I buy so much clothes. But, like, when I'm in those ruts, I don't, I mean, I wouldn't just go shopping. I mean, even though I love it, but I don't know. I feel like I get in my head a lot about it. But I feel like I kind of just sit there and reflect on the growth. Like, my mum, like, when I was young, because I've been, like, singing from a young age, like, she used to make me sit down in a chair and just, like, perform. So I have, like, all these videos of, like, just me performing at a young age. And in my closet, I have, like, books of, like, my old songwriting books from when I started writing, like, at 10 years old on a keyboard. So, like, when I go back and, like, let's just say I see the video, or I see, like, some of those old songs, I feel like that kind of reminds me of, like, the starting dream of, like, what it actually was. Like, the dream is to be a singer, and I've dreamt for this from, like, a little girl. So it's like, why am I going to give this up? Like, I'm just going to be, like, disappointed in myself later on. And also the what if, like, I don't want to get to, like, 20 years later and be like, oh, what if I did continue, or what would have happened? So that, I feel like reflecting on that. Also, I feel like one of my biggest motivators was obviously, like, my grandmother. So I was really close with her growing up, and when she was in Greece, she used to be a performer and a singer. So she, like, her dream didn't work out for her. So when, you know, I was born and I started singing, like, she was so excited. She's like, oh, she's going to live this dream for, like, the both of us. And she'd be there at all my shows, like, you know, waiting for me, you know, front row, like, so excited. And as I keep going, like, even the reason why I did Akapi is for her. Like, I feel like I wanted to do something with my culture in it for her. And every time I'm on stage, like, I feel like I'm living it for the both of us. Like, I'd be like, okay, we did it. Like, we're here. Like, I feel like she'd be, like, proud. So, like, I feel like that's, like, a core thing that keeps, like, reminding me of, like, I need to keep going. But yeah.
That's mad. I love that.
What does the song mean to you, Agape? Because
Agape?
I only just learnt
It's
the
everything.
actual meaning.
Oh, Agape. So Agape means my love. It's a very love song. It's about, like, you know, the person in your life being, like, your everything. But I feel like it's so much more than what, like, the lyrics are saying. Like, when I made the beat, I really wanted to, like, putting my culture in there, and I really wanted to connect with like a lot of Greeks here in Australia. So, you know, I did it and I put in Greek guitar and I added in a bit of Greek lyrics. So I put that out, and the fact that it was able to resonate, like, you know, the Greek, like, Aussie community were like, oh my God, like, that's one of us, like, you know, representing, like, finally a Greek on the map. And for me, that's my favorite song I've ever made. Like, there's obviously, like, songs that, you know, are probably stronger in lyrics or stronger beats, but that's a song that I feel like is just very close to me. It's like my baby track. It was like, I had that idea for a long time, and putting that out there just felt so good. And I feel like that song is like my direct connection with like my grandmother. So it's like my everything, like my baby. Yeah.
That's awesome.
What was it like when you were writing it? Like, did you have the idea and then lines would come here and there over time, or did you just have the idea and then eventually you sat down and made it?
Yeah,
or?
this is it's a crazy story. So when, or funny story, but when we were making the beat, I knew I wanted to use the word akapi, and I wanted it to be I wanted it to be titled akapi. So I knew that before even writing it and before I went into the beat, because I feel like that's a word that a lot of people know, but it's something that whoever has a partner and you're Greek, you call them akapi or akapimo, or you would say I love you and say sakapo. So I was like, I have to add those words. So they finished the beat, it was like 2 a.m. I had a 4 a.m. shift. I went to, I should not say,
No,
we
that's
can bleep out the location, but I went to work, we'll say that better, we'll bleep out the part before. But yeah, I went to work, it was 4 a.m. and I was so excited. I got this beat, it was everything I envisioned and more. And I put in my AirPods and, you know, I was just thinking of melodies. Like I have in my like voice memos, like me like thinking of melodies at like 4 a.m. in the morning at work. I just had one AirPod in while I was listening to like other people. And after I had the melody, it was like words would just slot in. I wrote the song in maybe like 20 minutes.
That's mad.
So yeah, I wrote, like, I was just so excited from that beat, and I just wanted it to like be done. And you know, when I started it, I feel like it was just a flow. Like I got the melodies, and when they were even making the beat, I think I already had some ideas of like what melody placements that I would like. And there were many different versions, like on my memos, like there's a bunch of different versions for the chorus. But yeah, in 20 minutes it was done, and then I booked my like recording session for literally a few days after. And Barry's like, Tiff, like that's a couple of days to write. I'm like, it's already done, like I'm ready. And I went in and recorded it, and it was everything I wanted. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like some songs take like nothing, and then some like forever. There's like no in between.
Yeah.
But that one, I think, smashed it out.
Where are you finding time to even get into the studio when you're working so much and you're...
Yeah, now I don't work as much as that. I think that that was last year. I was working there over 100 hours a week. Now it's just that I have a full-time job. So it's just like, you know, Monday, Friday, but also full-time student, and then full-time, you know, doing recording. Yeah. So still studying full-time.
And
what are you studying?
Pardon?
What are you studying?
Teaching. So I'm just finishing. So I've been teaching like in and out as well, which is so funny because my students found me on TikTok.
I was going to say,
like Sigma. I was like, what the hell Sigma mean? I'm like, what is that? And then like I'll be on live on TikTok, and then like they'll be like, oh, is this Miss Lakutis? I'm like, oh, no. Like, and I work at Catholic schools. So I'm like, I don't need them listen. Like, I don't say anything bad in my songs, but like, you know, I don't need them like on my lives when I'm doing my makeup. Like, oh, this is Miss Lakutis. Like, I'm just like, I can't, like, it's because I can get in trouble for that. Yeah. So even interacting or doing whatever, and basically like when you go to uni for teaching, they're like, yeah, all your socials have to be private, like different name. And I'm like, I do social media. Like it's hard. But when I first started teaching, it was like with a younger group, so year 2, so like they're oblivious. They don't even know how to spell your name. Like
they don't even know what Sigma is yet.
No, like I mean they probably do. Like they watch TikTok.
They're cooked now.
Yeah, like they don't care. They just want hugs. Like they don't care. But like my last one, like yeah, legit, they just want hugs. Like they think like they're your like, you know, their hero in school and whatever. But they don't like know about social media that much. But my last class, so year 6. And you know, when I first went there, I was like, okay, I got to connect with the boys, otherwise they're going to cause me like a million, like that calls me a drama. So I'm like, okay, I got to connect with you. So I remember one time it was like an English lesson and I had to write about like something they watched, and one of these boys was like stuck. He didn't know what to write, and I was like, do you watch like streamers? And he's like, he looked at me. He's like, how do you know about streamers? And I'm like, did you watch Kaisana or something last night? And he looked at me. He's like, Miss knows Kaisana. And I'm just like, no. I'm just like, And I remember it was like at the time of like Speed met Ronaldo or something, and this boy was obsessed with like Ronaldo, and like he watched I Show Speed. I'm like, oh, did you just see Speed saw Ronaldo? And he looked at me. He's like, how do you know that? And I'm like, do you want to watch the video? We'll watch it in the class. So I put on the class I Show Speed meeting Ronaldo.
I actually wish I was in your
like,
class.
Yeah.
Legit, like I put that was in the class, and the class watched I Show Speed watching Ronaldo. But yeah, so I formed a connection with my students. I feel like that's very important for me. Like, not only does it make them like listen to you, but respect you as well. And I think one time I had to teach them like, there's like Catholic songs that they would sing in church. So I had to teach them, and all of them are like, oh, she can sing. And like, one of the boys was like boasting he had like 6 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm like, that's so cool. I was like, I do YouTube. Like, that list slipped. He's like, how much subscribers do you have, miss? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm just joking. Like, I'm just like, and I left the school, and like literally within like a few minutes of 3 p.m, like I had like comments on my music video. Sigma, oh wow, Mr. Kudos. And he goes, Mr. Kudos isn't teaching anymore. Like the teacher isn't teaching. And like, I'm just like, oh no. And then they were in my request on Instagram, like they followed me, and they're like, oh, like she's a goat, and like all this stuff. Like, and I'm just sitting there, and then people will be on like in my comments, oh my god, she's my teacher, guys. And I'm like, delete, block, and I'm just sitting there like, I feel bad to block you, but I can't do this.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, but yeah, it's funny. But I love them. I love teaching so much, but obviously, music is like plan A.
Yeah. I get it.
Do you find it hard, taking off the teaching cap and then going straight into the music?
I don't know. I feel like for both singing and I mean, I wouldn't say I was teaching from young, but from young, like I've always had that, like, I love kids. Like when I was younger, I'd be like the babysitter of everyone, and I loved being around like the babies and like taking care of them. So I feel like both of them to me come quite natural. Like when I go into teaching, it's not something I have to like put on. It's just like myself. Like, I mean, I have conversations about I Show Speed, so am I really putting on a character? Like, I try not be fake. Like, if they think I'm cool, like that's good. So, I mean, when I get home, I feel like the only thing is teaching can be quite draining. Like, even though I love it, it's because you require a lot of energy. You're talking all day. You're, telling people off or whatever, but like it takes a lot of energy. So when I get home, I think it's finding the motivation to actually do music instead of just like resting or prepping for the next day. So that's the only thing, is just, I guess, finding the energy or motivating myself to do it.
Because what time are you getting home from work?
It depends. So my full-time job, I'd get home around like 5ish, just after 5. If I was teaching, it'd probably be the same thing. But sometimes it's just a lot of running around. Like I'll get, yesterday I had studio, I'd get home like at 5, quickly have a shower, quickly like get ready because I know I'm filming content there, and then race to the studio, get the song done, film content while I'm there, and then it's like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, and then finishing, coming back, and then like having to repeat. I think it was a lot crazier like last year because I had like it was shift work instead of full time. So I was getting up at like 4 in the morning and I was finishing a session at 2 a.m. all the way in like Liverpool, and I live like 40 minutes away. So that were some crazy times. But I guess I feel like that really shows me the like drive, I guess, or how much I want this. Yeah. But I guess no one really sees that. They just see like music and be like, oh, she's made another song.
Yeah, no, that's actually insane.
It's been crazy.
Let's talk about the show we did with Tiff.
What show did I do with you? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we did a show together.
Yeah, I'm like, what show did I do?
That's slack.
You know what? Yeah, actually, I should be a little bit cut about that, but no, it's okay.
No,
I don't take offense. You know why I don't take offense? Because the first time I met you in real life.
Oh, that was funny.
Was so funny.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened?
Do you know how we met in real life the first time?
I feel like it involves acai.
It does involve
Yeah.
acai, which is
Why
funny
is
because
everything
you,
involved?
Yeah, what is up with you? Are you alright?
and it involves live as
I
well.
have never had acai. The first time I went with that person to acai was the first time I've ever had acai in my life. First time. And I went to the exact same place that day that I went with that person.
Okay, but I was at my cousin's place,
Yeah.
and
So funny.
I said to him, I was like, oh, like I really need to get home. I can't remember what I had on the next day. I don't remember if the show was like coming up extremely quickly, and I was still trying to get stuff
It was
ready.
that weekend.
So I was like, I'm really sorry because like, I can't stay with you, and I don't know, like hang or like have dinner or go for a late night snack or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I've got to get home. I love you. I'll see you later. And I walk out the door. James closes the door, and then there's this person parked right behind me, like up my ass with the headlights on. I'm like,
He
who's
left
this
no
person
space for
parked
me.
up my ass? I'm like, who is this? And then all I hear is,
So you weren't even in your car?
no.
If you moved a little bit in, then I would have more.
Yeah, you fucking piece of shit.
I'm a good fucking driver. I don't want to hear any of that. But no, and then I just hear, oh my gosh, I know that person.
Were your
I'm
windows
like-
down?
And I'm
Was
like,
Windows down?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit for air. But like, so basically, that night I was supposed to see someone and it fell through, and I was like, you know what, F it, I'm gonna go get acai. Like I feel like I crave it, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. So I drove to the acai place, and there's normally like a few, like maybe 5 or 6 parking spots like right in front of it, and it's always free. And for some reason this time it wasn't free. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Plan
So
for it.
I drive around the corner and go into this little street. Like no one, what's this street? No one knows. I just drove into there. There's like a tight
oh, it's a
car
beautiful
spot.
straight, all right? Don't be talking
It
shit
was a
about that.
tight
straight.
car spot because the person in front of me could have moved a bit more and left me room.
It's actually
Shit
rubbish.
drivers,
Bullshit.
yeah.
Fucking
I
rubbish.
parked and then I walked to get my acai and I went back to my car and I was like, oh, should I drive home? I was like, no, I want to stay out a bit. I was like, I could drive, but like this is gonna melt. So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go on live because like sometimes I go on live, just I feel like it builds followers and stuff. It's cool like to talk to everyone. And I was like, I'll just go live in this location. Like no one's here, no one's gonna see me or judge me. So I set up my camera, I put on like the little light, and I started eating my acai. And then this person walks out of the house and then goes to open his car door. He goes to open his car door, and I'm looking out, and I'm like, wait, I know this person, and like I don't know, cause like obviously I've chatted to you on like socials,
Yeah,
but
like
like
we've
I haven't.
never met.
Yeah, I haven't seen you, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, do I say hi? Like, is that awkward? And I'm like, nah, like I'm doing a show with him. Like he put me on this show. Like in a few days, like I should say hi. And I pop my head out the window, and I'm like, wait, is that who I think it is? And then it's Raph, and he's like, oh my god.
And like I heard the voice, and I'm like, because with so many Lebo family members, you don't want to ever be rude and like pretend like wonder who it is. So my immediate reaction is always this, hey, how are you going? I had not seen it because your headlights were on and
Yeah.
like in my face, so I couldn't even see who it was.
Yeah.
So my immediate reaction is someone recognized me. Hey, how you going? Oh my gosh, so good to see you. And then as I get closer to the car, I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, you're like,
That's actually
Tiffany?
crazy.
It was
That's
so
actually
odd.
crazy.
Because I looked different. Like, I had my hair in like a tight bun. I was wearing my glasses. Like I wasn't even wearing makeup. Like it was just like I just went to go get an acai, and like I saw him, and I was like, I didn't think he's gonna recognize me as well. And I'm just like, wait, is that what I think it is? And then he put like my car window was open, and he went like, hi guys.
She's like, I'm on live, so I just fucking poke my head in. I'm like, oi, come to the show.
Yeah.
Clip.
Yeah.
We saved the clip, and then I posted it, and then you were like, oh yeah, like I actually want an acai now. And I'm like, oh, let me tell, Nick's in the live, like Nick Marcus is in the live, like, do you want to come? And then Nick's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, we're going to start driving. So then me
So
and
we just
Raph
went and fucking
drove
picked
to
him
like
up.
Nick's house. We all got in one car. We like met his mum.
Yeah. That was
We
the first
met
time I
his
met Nick
mum,
Marcus's mum.
and then we went for a drive, went to acai. We bumped into this like little Asian lady, and you know,
She still
she's
follows me and
Really?
comments on my stuff as well.
Really?
She's
She
really
follows
nice.
me, and like she followed all of us, and she was like, make sure you follow me back. And I'm like, and I'm just like, oh, okay. She goes, I do travel and tourism, like you need to follow me. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, come to the show. And then who was filming? I don't know. Someone filmed a video like with her. And it was a photo. Oh yeah, it was like this. Like we were all together. It was like Nick, Marcus, him, me, and like her. And we're like, guys, come down to the show. And I'm like, post it. Raf's like, no, that's too mean. I'm like, it's not. She's a supporter.
I felt like we jumped onto her like too quick, like we threw her in the deep end.
she
I was like, no,
loved
I
it.
don't want to like put her on. But she really did enjoy it.
Yeah, she was just
so
walking
nice.
past. She was eating fish or something. Fish cocktails, yeah. Sea fish cocktails, and she looked at me. I was like, hi. And then like, cause sometimes I can be very bubbly.
It was so quick of you to do that.
I mean, I'm normally an introvert, but once, like, if I know you and if I've seen you, then I feel like I'll be a yapper. Like, I won't shut up. Like,
I feel like energy was just up.
Like I've got to be comfortable. Yeah, because I was with you.
That was rare.
That was so rare.
And I was with you and Nick Marcus, so I felt like, I was like, okay, I can be like my bubbly self. And I looked at her, she looked at me, I was like, hi. Like, I just had a conversation with her. And I don't know how the show came up or something. Oh, I was like, oh, he's famous. I like pointed at Raf and Nick Marcus. She's like, oh, I'm on his Instagram. I'm like, yeah, I'll give you his Instagram. I'll hook you up. So like
23 followers. He's very famous.
So like I gave the Instagram. She goes, oh, this is so cool. And I'm like, he's doing a show on Saturday. And then Raf's like, she's on it too though. And I'm like, yeah, we're all doing one. She goes, you should do it here at what was it? It was like a theater or something across the road.
One in Sutherland, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, you should do it here at the hall. A lot of like it gets really busy on the weekends. And I'm like, yeah, like we're gonna do it. And we're like, come down. She goes, yeah, I'll come down, bring my friends. And then she wanted a photo with all of us. Like it was so cute. But it was like the most random night ever. Like meeting you for the first time. Then we're at Nick Marcus's house. Then we're meeting his mum. Next second we're like, bonding with angels.
It's crazy.
Am I considered an angel? Are we considered angels?
Yeah, I mean,
angels can be blokes, right?
We're fans of Tiff.
It was like supporters. I don't like the word fans. Like, I don't know.
We're supporters of Tiff.
Yeah, but they're just supporters. Yeah, angels. A lot of people will be like, it's like so funny. Like, even myself, I'm like it's so weird. But like, there's a story behind it, like the whole angel thing.
What is it?
What's the story?
Oh, yeah, okay. So I have a whole video on Instagram.
Imagine saying that and not telling
I have a whole reel of it on my Instagram. It's my content idea. But so my middle name is Angel, and basically how that came about is
that's actually pretty hectic.
Yeah, and how that came about is because when I was like, my mum's belly, the only way that would get me to move is if my dad was singing me "Angel" by Shaggy. So like I love music from like when I was in the womb, we could say. But yeah, so my dad would sing me "Angel" by Shaggy, and like that's when I would like move like my legs as if I was dancing. Yeah, literally. And I was born and I was the first girl, so my dad's like, oh, she looks like an angel, and gave me it. Now he says I'm the devil, but whatever. No. But
what a turn of events.
Yeah, I tell people like at work because my mum works with me, and I'll be like, yeah, my middle name's Angel, and my mum will start laughing, and she's like, yeah, she proved me wrong. And I'm just like, okay.
Thanks, mum. Love you too.
But no, she's my biggest supporter. She loves me. But so my middle name was Angel, and then I think every night my dad would sing me like the song Angel, and it just stuck. So when girls, I feel like when I recognized my audience was like a lot of young girls, like when they would comment, I'd be like, thanks Angel or whatever. And I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna call them my angels at this point. But now I'm seeing other artists call them angels, and I'm like, it's on my birth certificate.
Fake.
Like I'm the
They're
OG.
fake.
Like, come on.
They're copying.
I know, right? I should send, not NDA, what is that? Lawsuit.
Like a
Copyright?
Yeah, sue. I'm suing them.
Like a patent?
Patent. I'm trademarking
patent.
Angel.
Patent. It's like what's it called? Cease and desist.
Mm-hmm.
What would Raf be? If you could give Raf one?
Oh, I've been
Raffinators.
That's fake. There's no way. What about Nick's? I've got one for Nick.
Webster's.
Oh, Nicky Webster. Yeah, mate. Good job.
Webster's.
I don't know. Webster's?
The Nickers.
Webbies. The Webbies.
The Nickers is where it's at.
Spiders. The spider, I don't know, because
webs.
webs.
Spiders.
Yeah.
My little spiders.
Green Goblin looking fuck.
The Raffinators. Fuck, that's good. Fuck, that's good. No, please do something with that.
Wreck-It Ralph's.
Oh, that's funny as well. These are good.
Ralphie's? I don't know.
Ralph's. No, okay, we're not doing this anymore.
Do you know how many people call him Ralph?
It actually upsets me.
Really?
Like I'll be here in the office,
Yeah,
It's written. It's fucking written in front of you. Like, how do you get it wrong? I don't know. The amount of people that call me Ralph
I
every
find
day.
it so funny when it happens. Like, I feel bad because if it happens in real life, I'll die.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be laughing and he's like visibly annoyed. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny.
It just makes me feel like Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons. Like, he's cute as, and I love him.
It reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph. I don't know. When I hear Ralph.
That's probably a bit better. But still.
Wreck-It Ralph.
I've never watched that.
Really?
Never seen Wreck-It Ralph.
The Ralph-
It's so good.
What's it about?
It's about
guy who
a
wrecks
big
it.
motherfucker who just wrecks shit.
Yeah.
It's a bit deeper than that. Like it's set in a video game,
Yeah.
and he's like a character that because he's big and strong and he's considered the bad guy, he never gets along with anyone else in the
Yeah.
video game land. It's pretty cute, and then like it's a story about him and like how he meets
Yeah.
people, and like he ends up being a good guy because he's so strong, so he can save people and shit.
Like
Like
he meets
he's
a
actually like a really
girl
nice
and
guy.
another, not like a girlfriend, like she's
He meets another.
underage.
He meets another character that's like
Yeah.
considered an outcast. Did you say she's an outcast?
She's underage?
Yeah, because I'm like, when he meets another girl, I'm
What
like,
I said was way worse.
I'm like, he's not a girlfriend. He's like, she's underage. What's her name? Oh, V, is it?
Isn't it the glitch?
Vanellope?
Oh, Penelope.
Or Vanellope.
No, that was Penelope. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Maybe it's weird because she's weird. Vanellope.
Penelope?
I don't know.
There's no way
Penelope?
that's a real name.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I mean, because she's not real.
We're gonna have to
Foreshadowing.
check this. We'll like get up the clip and we'll check it.
Yeah.
We'll check it after.
The Raffinators. Fuck. It came out so quickly and I just didn't expect it.
Pretty quick.
Oh.
It was pretty quick.
I mean, actually, no, I'm not going to say that.
What?
No, say it.
No,
cut
say
it. Say it. We'll cut it. You have a show coming up. Is that right?
Yes.
Do I know
so,
this?
I mean, it hasn't been announced yet. No one's really said anything, but
So is this the announcement?
Okay.
Oh.
So
Sweet.
yeah, it's called. It's for the chef exclusive. So it's brought to you by Beats with Chef.
Just sponsor us, guys.
Yeah,
What
I
the
know,
fuck?
right? I know. Please sponsor me. Yeah. So I have myself, and we have a bunch of other artists with Tiga, Xenos, Fortune, Nick Marcus, and Sire. So they're all dope artists. So like I'm excited to share the stage with them. But we're all performing, let me get the actual date. I think it's like 14th of December or something.
Oh, it's coming up quick.
Yeah, it's coming up. So 14th of December, that's correct. 14th of December, and it's completely free. So, I mean, there's no excuse for you not to come. But
Unless you're busy. Then.
no, it's a month notice. No, I'm joking. Maybe I'm not. But yeah, it's completely free. It'll be a really cool event. And I feel like because all the artists, like, we're quite close as well, so it would be like, we've all been working so hard this year, so I feel like it's a good way to end the year and kind of just show everyone just like what we've been up to and kind of just wrap up like this year and have a little night just to showcase that, because I feel like we've all been really creative and just like making music.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool. It's at the Alcatraz. I think that's how you say it.
No way.
I've never been there.
Is
Never
that where
heard of
Jim
it.
There's no fucking way.
What is it? Have you been there?
Like, how is this? This podcast is a meme, bro. How is this real? So the DJ we had on last week hosts all his events, his first event and his main event at Alcatraz.
I've never heard of it. That was my first time. Is it a good venue?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
This is actually crazy.
It actually is
It's
crazy.
always
Shout out
just
to
like small
Alcatraz. It's a fucking good spot.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see everyone perform. It'll be good. And I feel like because I'm close with everyone on that lineup, so I love all their music as well. So I'll be like front row, singing and screaming everyone's stuff.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it would be a cool night.
And don't need to book tickets or anything because it's free. Is there
It's
a capacity
free.
though? Like, do we
there
need
is
to
a capacity,
get in?
so I mean, ticket links always in my bio or
Yeah.
any of the artists. I mean, all you have to do is put your name down, so you may as well just secure your tickets,
Sure.
like a RSVP, since it's free, just so you don't lose your spot. Only because there's a bunch of artists, and I'm sure they're all gonna, bring their little squads. But I mean, it's hosted by Beats with Chef, so they've got a massive backing as well. So I'm sure some of their people that back them as well will be there. So it will be cool.
Would you be able to secure our tickets?
I can get you a ticket.
Actually, I don't know if you're free. I'm free, so I'm going to go.
God willing. I want to be there
You're
for sure.
going to be there.
Okay.
I'm joking, I'm joking. No, I'm joking.
Put it
I'm
in the
actually joking.
calendar.
Cousin's wedding. Fuck. Sorry, can't make it. Got tips.
Priorities. I'll remember that when I'm being. When we
No,
are
I'll
both.
be there. I'll be there. Like
No, no,
literally,
I'm
unless
joking,
it's like
I'm
a wedding or something, I'm
No,
there.
no,
Like
it's fine.
there's
I'm
no
actually
question
like
about
just
it.
taking the
I'm
piss.
done.
But I'm taking the piss. I'm not actually gonna cancel you for that. But yeah,
Safe.
yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, but no, it'd be cool. Like, there's a lot of talented people. So yeah.
Okay. I'm actually keen as. All right.
A few. One, I was going to ask in terms of the process working with people who are more hands-on with your music. Does Chef and Barry really bridge the gap in your understanding of production? Because, like, for example, for myself, I mentioned before, I'm off YouTube beats. Like, production for me is a very weak point. I can describe a sound or something I want. Do they just bridge the gap completely?
Yeah. I feel like they really hit the nail on the head with all the visions I have. I feel like with them, you really need to, I think, just say everything that like you want and be as descriptive as possible. But I mean, they do like beat production videos on their Instagram. I don't know if you see, like when we say, "Can I get out?" blah blah blah. But pretty much just like that in session. But you know, with a lot of my songs, like sometimes I don't really even have an exact idea. Like even for Feel My Love, I was like, I don't know what I do. I want to do something summer, and you know, we'll go into things. But since you're there for the beat session, you know, any instrument they'll use, they'll be like, okay, these are the options. Like, do you like any of these? And at the start, they were showing me everything. But I feel like since I've been with them for so long, I think they kind of know what I'm looking for or know what will sound good for me. But yeah, I feel like they're really good with like bringing your vision to life. So obviously I don't know much about production at all, but everything they've done, yeah, I feel like they definitely bridge the gap for sure. It's like very easy, like it's a very easy process.
And in terms of social media content, you did mention that you go into studio and shoot, obviously with the team.
Yeah.
When you shoot with videographers, do you come in with your own ideas of what you want to create, or are they sort of directing you in terms of what they think will suit the social?
It depends. So they have a business called Content Creator TV, which kind of is centered around making content, not even just for artists, but anyone on social media, if it's businesses and stuff. When I'm working with them, sometimes they'll give me a bunch of ideas, and with those ideas, what they'll do is I kind of, like at the start of the year, I told them like my brand, and you know, they've studied that, and every time I have a content session, I'll be like looking at what's doing well with that brand and how we can connect, you know, my existing brand with a song that's coming out. So, you know, they might send me a message and be like, okay, we have 3 ideas, we can film this and do it with this song, you know, and wear something like this, and you know, I'll go in and I'll film that with that idea. But for myself, I actually really do love coming up with content ideas, and I do help out a lot of other artists as well, come up with the ideas depending on their brand as well. So sometimes I'll just be like, oh, like I have this really cool idea, like this is exactly what I want to do, here's some examples, let's shoot this. So yeah, sometimes it's my idea, sometimes it's theirs. I also work with Ours Creative a lot, and it's a mutual one as well. I try to be involved in the creative process. Like for the music video Pretty Game, I creative directed that one. So I think sometimes I just have like a vision of how I want it to look, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
And I wanted to ask, do you have any goals? Like what's Tiffany's goals for, say, let's put 12 months on it. Like what's your goals? Where do you want to see yourself?
I definitely want to do more shows. I feel like the show's connecting with a lot of people, because I feel like this past year I've just like locked away, like making music behind like 4 walls. But I feel like this next year I know there's a lot of consistency, so I feel like my goal is to keep that consistency and really like push the song more, because like as I said earlier, like I feel like one of my weaknesses as much as I do put out content, I feel like I can do a lot more. And like I have ideas, but sometimes like whether you get lazy or you're tired one day and you don't film it. So I feel like I really just want to focus on making that content and really pushing the songs that I'm putting out to try like maximize the audience. But just in turn, I think just through all that, just growing my audience like through the year, I feel like growth is obviously the most important. But yeah, both in myself as an artist, but also numbers. I mean, we'd all love to see growth in numbers. But yeah, I'm trying not to like solely focus on that because I feel like I get in that headspace where I'm like, oh, we had this much monthly listeners. I need to step back and like, I think Chef is the one who like broke it down for me. Like I'll look at numbers and I don't actually think of it as people. Like I'm seeing numbers and you compare yourself and be like, oh, this song is so good. Like why is it not like doing it? And then like for example with Akapi, like it hit 50k or something and I was just like, oh, like that's nothing. Like I was expecting it to skyrocket. And then Chef's like, okay, Tiff, like imagine 50,000 people in one room. Like that's almost a stadium. He goes, it might not be like one listen per person, but like just in general. He's like, imagine 50,000 people in one room and you're standing in the middle of it. Now rethink. And I'm like, okay, yeah, when you put it like that, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's
but
ridiculous.
yeah, I feel like I want to see growth because obviously I want this to be like my full-time job. Like I want to just focus on music and not do anything else.
So is it just the content then that you think needs that's your weakest? That's the weakest point?
I feel like I've definitely grown in like the music and I'm putting out the music and I've been creative and I've grown skills. Obviously you can still grow like my songwriting and whatever, but I think definitely one of the biggest things is like the content and the consistency of it, like actually posting a lot more and not being like, okay, this hasn't got much likes, like we'll delete it, like who cares, like just post it, film the content and just keep like pushing. I feel like that's something that I actually need to do and work on for sure.
What's your plan for getting in front of people more in terms of live shows? Or do you have one, or do you kind of work with the team for that? Because I know you said you wanted to do that more this year.
I feel like with that, I think just connecting with more artists, I feel like I'm building my connections as I grow. I mean, everything's through connections. I mean, I connected with Nick, who then was a connection with you, which got me onto that show. So, I feel like doing joint shows with artists. I wanted to put on my own show, so I'm speaking like with one of my friends, his name's Billy Season, I don't know if you guys know. So he really wants to put on a bunch of shows all just for the culture. Like I feel like there's so much talent in Australia and when we do go to shows, like it's just like the vibe of it and everyone's supporting each other, whether it's your friends. Like I feel like when you're all coming together and like supporting your friends' art, it's crazy. So we're definitely like planning to do shows, like organize them and get like a bunch of Aussie acts and artists on the lineup for sure. So hopefully next year that can roll out. But that's definitely like a goal of mine as well. I feel like for me, not many people know, I studied music business. So I've like...
And teaching.
Yeah, I did a degree in music business, but it was just a TAFE. So it was TAFE online. So I just like pushed through that. But I love to see other artists grow. So like for some artists, I've created like press releases and pitches and, really pushed them and like created like business things. So I kind of want to go into that realm. At the start, like I really wanted to create a record label, but I just thought I need to focus on my own artistry first. But I think that first step of like just organizing like a bunch of shows, like not titled like Tiffany or anything, but just organizing shows for the year, like a time for like a bunch of different artists to look forward to get up and connect with other people and maybe make new, fans or supporters and stuff like that is definitely like on the list for me.
Yeah,
I thought that would be cool.
actually curious about the TAFE course. What do you feel like you walked out of there with a bunch of skills that were genuinely useful? Because for me, I did business and I walked out and I felt like I got done by the end of my degree.
I feel like it's a mix of things. I feel like I've definitely learnt things, but I feel like I've learnt more in my experience in the industry, for sure. But like when I think about it, it's hard to explain. If I didn't know that like existing knowledge, I wouldn't like be able to navigate as well like now. Because like I've had like interactions with like labels in Australia, and I feel like not a lot of people are trying to rip you off, but you know, even like with shows and stuff, I feel like having that knowledge is good. So I did learn a lot from there, but I wouldn't say it's like necessary to like, you know everything. There's a lot of books that like I've like picked up, like music business ones that like have taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Or
Any recommendations?
I can't think of it off the top of my head. I have to like see at home and then I'll send you them. But they're pretty good, and I feel like for an artist it's good to know, especially as an independent artist, because I feel like it's important to know your worth and really push yourself, and I guess know how to talk to people. Because for example, like a radio station, if you're pitching yourself to them, if you're talking yourself down, I'm an upcoming artist, that word upcoming is already something that's knocking your confidence. You're not an upcoming artist.
Yeah. You are an artist.
You are an artist. You're an established artist. You're putting out music. You're not upcoming. You're you're already there. So I feel like just for artists to be confident and know the worth of their work and not like undercut yourself just because you're independent. You know, like what's his name? Russ. Russ, actually, his books are good.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I read,
You love that
he's
book.
a smart man, and a lot of people have mixed opinions on him and will be like he's cocky, but for me I feel like he just knows like what he's worth. He's independent, and his book is good. The yellow one I read a while ago.
I'm not sure.
I
Nick would
forgot
know
what it's
better. He loves
called.
Russ.
Yeah,
it's a great book.
yeah,
It's a really,
I
really good book.
learned some stuff in there as well. That one's good. But yeah, it's definitely good to have and to know.
You've been spitting facts for like
Sorry,
an hour and a
I'm
half
yapping.
straight.
That was
and I'm
extremely
like, I'm in
valuable.
awe. Like I'm silent because I'm just like, I want to know more. And
Yeah, I
just
feel like I yap sometimes,
No,
but
it's
like
just so, because this is so insightful. This is so, there's so much you know that like, I feel like I didn't even have my eyes open to.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny you say that, because every time I'm in the studio, like when we record content, Chef and Barry were like, "You're a natural from the camera." Look, I'm not saying I am, guys. Like, don't take me. No, don't take me. They'll say that, but you know, as I said, I was growing up like young. Like my mum would film me like dancing and singing in the camera. Like she'd make me be in that room every day, like filming something. And then from young, doing performances like everywhere, and I loved being in front of the camera. I started a little YouTube channel. All the videos are deleted. Don't go look for it. But
yeah, we're
like,
talking to you, year 2.
yeah, exactly. No stigma. I don't know what does stigma even mean. I don't even know. Is it a diss? Were they dissing me?
No, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Are you sure?
Oh, being a Sigma? Yeah, don't worry about it.
Is that like a simp or something?
No.
No, it's
A simp is the opposite of a sigma.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's bad that I know this.
It actually is bad.
I don't want to know.
I've
I'll
got
search it
brain
up on
rot.
Urban Dictionary
I'm a
after.
brain rot person. So.
But I don't even know what I was saying, to be honest. Oh yeah, like I was doing YouTube. I love doing it, and I love making content as well. I love being in front of the camera. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You say you don't know, but fuck, I feel like you are like no, I shouldn't say that, but I've met a lot of artists just in passing at shows out in Newtown. You are fucking doing the most.
I
man.
appreciate you saying
like
that. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Thanks. I think if people see a female artist and like, oh yeah, she's just dumb and whatever, I can take advantage. But for me, I feel like, I think it was something Michael B. Jordan said, but like for me, I don't really go out partying like or doing like that stuff much. Like if I'm at home and I'm like studying something or reading on something, I feel like that gives me the edge on, like not people, but it gives me the edge on the industry and benefits me. So, loving music so much, I would read into it and doing stuff, and I feel like knowing more is just beneficial. Oh, love a voice calling. Why can I?
Yeah. I thought this was so new, so maybe I am delayed.
No, it is new. I feel like sometimes like even though I say my songs are all like real experiences, sometimes like the story, not that's boring, but like you need to exaggerate it for it to be like a song. So Feel My Love, when we were doing Afro House, like I had to write something that was fun and lovely, and at the time I was talking to him, and you know, it's the song's about the beginning stages. Like you're scared, you're like, oh, am I like reading this situation right? Is like, you know, should I go for it? Like, is this gonna be like a bad decision? And as the song goes on, it's kind of just like, oh, F it. Like, you know what, I'm just going to let you feel my love and, you know, see where it goes, and just like give my all kind of thing. And I remember I finished the song, and because when I finish my sessions, like I'll send some of my music to some people, shout out Billy Season. I send all my stuff to Billy, like every time I finish a session. He's like my biggest hype man, I'm not even gonna lie. But like, I was talking to this guy, so I thought I'd send him the track because he asked me how my studio session was going. And I sent it to him, and I didn't say it was about him because I don't like to tell people like, this song's about you, because I don't know. You know, when I did Feel My Love, I didn't disclose that. I was just like, yeah, I wrote a song, whatever. And I sent it to him, and I saw him in person, and he was like, so is this about me?
I was going to say, did he say it?
I'm just like, I was like, yeah, I feel like, because like I made it a bit, not obvious, but like one of his form like of affection, like, you know, love bites, like, you know, you bite someone, and like I was in session and I put
I've never heard of love.
Really?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
bite
My partner
their
doesn't
arm or
bite
something.
me,
Really?
so I don't know.
I'll bite his arm, like I'll be real.
Oh,
Like,
you mean like an actual bite? A physical
Yeah.
bite?
it's not like, it
I
doesn't
thought it
hurt.
was the same for something.
No, it
No.
doesn't hurt. It's like, it's not painful. It's like, anyway. It's common. It's
Fuck,
common.
alright.
It's common. But yeah, so in the chorus, I'm like, bite my shoulder. And like a lot of people were like, oh, this, like, yeah.
Yeah, say it's in my head.
A lot of people, when I wrote that lyric, I think that was very direct. And then he kind of listened to it. He's like, bite my shoulder.
Yeah, I do
He's
that
like,
shit.
is this about me? And I'm just like, you know, I'm just gonna own it. And I was like, yeah, whatever it is. Like, what are you gonna do about it? But he was actually really cool with it. He's like, no, I like that. Like, that's cool. And I'm like, okay, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
no
mad.
That's
worries.
good. It'd be another thing if he's like,
Yeah, that
But
was
he's
like
the
the
best,
past
yeah, it's
experience I had. So that they hated it, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like,
I'm
nothing's about
excited
you.
to meet him now.
Bro, he's the best.
Actually, I'm so excited.
Yeah, he is the best.